poor single mom fell asleep on a CEO's shoulder in the subway. What happened next shocked everyone. New York City moved as it always did. Fast, loud, relentless. Car horns echoed down tight avenues. Voices clashed on busy sidewalks. And somewhere below, the screech of subway trains cut through the underground hum. In the middle of it all stood Emma Carter. On the corner of a Queens intersection, she clutched a paper bag of leftover pancakes from her double shift at Manny's Diner. Her other hand wrapped protectively around the sticky fingers of her 4-year-old son, Oliver. "Hold tight, baby," she said softly, brushing a golden strand from her damp forehead. Her wrinkled uniform, worn sneakers, and tired eyes told a longer story, one of long nights and quiet sacrifices. "I'm hungry," Oliver mumbled, tugging at her hand. "I know, sweetheart. We'll eat these on the train, okay? It's almost bedtime." He nodded with sleepy reluctance. Emma smiled, kissed his forehead, then pulled out her phone. The screen lit up with a new message from her aunt. "Emma, your mom's fading fast. You need to come now." Her breath caught. Her mother, the one person who had always been her safe place, was slipping away. Emma hadn't seen her in almost 2 years. Life had gotten in the way. Work, bills, survival. And now she might be too late. With trembling fingers, she texted back, "I'm coming. Be there soon." Moments later, they were descending into the subway station. Oliver, nodding off on her shoulder, grew heavier with each step. Emma juggled the pancake bag, her purse, and his weight as they boarded the train, finding a quiet car near the back. It was just past midnight. Only a few scattered passengers sat in silence. Emma slid into a corner seat and cradled Oliver on her lap, his small breaths warming her neck. Her back ached, her legs throbbed, but her heart carried the heaviest weight of all. Station after station passed in a blur. Somewhere near Roosevelt Island, Emma gently laid Oliver on the seat beside her, covering him with her coat. Exhausted beyond reason, she leaned to the right and, without realizing it, let her head fall against the man seated next to her. She didn't notice him, but he noticed her. Liam Callahan had boarded at Bryant Park, fresh from a late dinner with investors. He wore a tailored navy suit, collar undone, tablet in hand.
Calm, composed.
Unreadable. When he felt her head rest against his shoulder, he turned slightly. A woman, young, clearly exhausted, blonde hair messy, face drawn with fatigue. A child beside her, sleeping soundly. Liam studied her for a moment, then gently, he reached into his jacket, pulled out a silk handkerchief, folded it, and slid it between his shoulder and her cheek. He did not move. Across the car, an older woman watched with quiet admiration. A student nearby raised his phone, subtly snapping a photo and smiling to himself. No one spoke, but everyone noticed. Liam remained still for the entire ride. As the train neared Queensboro Plaza, Emma stirred. Her eyes fluttered open, and realization struck as she lifted her head. "Oh my God," she gasped, sitting upright. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." "It's all right," Liam said softly, a faint British lilt in his voice. "You looked like you needed it." Emma flushed, her eyes dropping to her lap. "Still, thank you." He smiled, warm but reserved. No harm done. The train screeched to a halt. Emma quickly gathered her things, scooping Oliver into her arms. Before stepping off, she paused. "Really, thank you." Liam nodded, steady and calm. As Emma disappeared into the night, she didn't know his name or his story. But she would remember the stillness of that moment, the kindness, the shoulder, the quiet grace of a stranger when the world had grown too heavy. And so would everyone else who had watched it happen. You're interested? Here's your prompt. Deadline, 48 hours. No pressure. No pressure. Emma nearly laughed. Her fingers hovered over the reply button. She could not tell if her chest felt tight from excitement or from sheer panic. Why would they want to read anything I write? I haven't touched real journalism in 5 years. She stared at the prompt again. Tell a story that matters to you. Something personal. Something real. Her first instinct was to say no. She had no resume, no connections, no portfolio beyond a few blog posts buried under years of digital dust. But then she remembered Liam's voice from yesterday, calm and certain. "You have a story, and I think people need to hear voices like yours." Emma exhaled. Still, doubt clung to her like fog. Later that afternoon, she met Liam at a quiet cafe a few blocks from the hospital. It was the kind of place with mismatched mugs, indie music humming through the speakers, and old books stacked along the walls. He was already there when she arrived, sipping something dark and bitter, scrolling through his phone. He looked up the moment she walked in. "Hey," he said, standing. "You okay?" Emma sank into the chair across from him, her shoulders tense. "I got the email." Liam didn't pretend not to know what she meant. "And they want a writing sample. Something personal." He waited. "I don't think I can do it," she admitted quietly. "I don't belong there." "I'm not." She laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Because I'm a waitress. Because I haven't written anything longer than a grocery list in years. Because I'm a single mom who can barely get through the day without collapsing." Liam leaned forward, setting his coffee aside. "Emma," he said gently, "sometimes the world does not need another polished voice with a perfect degree and connections. Sometimes the world just needs someone honest." She stared at him, unsure what to say. "Write it," he said. "Not for the job. For you." That night, Emma sat in the hotel room with Oliver snoring softly beside her, his arm draped across a stuffed dinosaur. She stared at the blank document on her borrowed laptop, her fingers frozen over the keyboard. Write something personal. Real. Her heart pounded. She began typing. "I never meant to be a mother at 22. I never meant to be alone. But life has a way of throwing you into the deep end and daring you to swim. And for 4 years, I have been treading water with one arm while holding my son above the waves with the other." Once the words began, they did not stop. She wrote about fear, about loneliness, about choosing diapers over dreams, rent over ambition, about the guilt of being tired, the joy of Oliver's laugh, the ache of watching her reflection vanish behind fast food uniforms and late-night sobbing on the bathroom floor. She wrote until the sun peeked over the skyline. When she was done, she had 3,000 words and tear-streaked cheeks. The next day, she hit send on trembling hands. For the rest of the day, she avoided her inbox. She distracted herself with hospital visits, errands, anything to keep from checking her email every 5 minutes. It was not until the evening, while Oliver napped in the chair beside her, that her phone buzzed. Subject: rewriting sample from Claire Winters, Callahan Media. Emma's heart pounded as she opened it. "Emma, this is exactly what we've been looking for. Your voice is honest, raw, and deeply human. We'd love to bring you on board as a freelance contributor for this project. Let's set up a call this week to talk details. Welcome aboard." Claire. Emma blinked at the screen, barely able to breathe. She reread it 3 times before the truth hit her. She had done it. She was not just a waitress anymore. She was a writer again. Later that night, standing outside the hospital beneath a glowing street lamp, she called Liam. He answered on the first ring. "I got the job," she whispered, voice trembling. On the other end of the line, he was quiet for a beat. Then, "Of course you did." Emma laughed through the tears. "Thank you." "You did this, Emma," he said. "Not me." But she knew that was not entirely true. Because for the first time in a long time, someone had seen her, really seen her, and reminded her that she was more than her struggle. And that was the first step toward becoming someone she had almost forgotten she could be.